My check, my check, my check, my check, my check, my check. There we go. There we go. This is going to be a real quick live. I went to sleep early yesterday and I woke up early. So I meditated. Then I caught a few replays of some lives and I saw some calculations, some manipulations, and some things that I have been warning people about for about 2, maybe 3 years now. Y'all just don't know all the players because they don't identify the same. But if you pay close attention, you'll see that they're all on the same team. They're all on the same thing. And they're even moles. They have access to all types of places. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. They're spreading out. And they no longer want to identify because of the FBI. They no longer want to identify as who they are because they know that is immediate grounds for termination on YouTube and possibly jail or prison time. So let me turn this music. All right, it is QI entering the building. I decided to go ahead and do this live and let people catch the replay possibly. I just want to get it out the way. I do have some other content set up. I have is feminism. It's really like about is feminism the opposite of misogyny. So I'm not going to go too deep into that, but at any rate, I'm trying to be more on, the intellectual tip that I like to come from, what stimulates me, the reason I came on here, and the reason I like content creating, to educate. All right. So like I said, I saw some things taking place. I caught some replays and saw some things happening, right? And it's, I one of the things that women especially need to learn is self-love. Before you can love anybody else, you must first love yourself. Before you can protect anybody else, you have to first protect yourself, especially as a nurturer. And unfortunately, women these days, compared to ancient times, have to also provide and protect. So women are needed. Women are the driving force to the next generation. We can honestly say if we look at family dynamics around us, family dynamics, even when there is a father present, sometimes it means nothing, especially if it's a poor example of a father or if the father is not holding up their part. But in any family dynamic, you can see how important a mother is. There's nothing like a mother, a grandmother, or an aunt. I used to tell my aunt, and may she um, rest in power. I used to call my aunt or tell my aunt that she was like my second mother because that's how she was. And may my mother rest in power. When my mother transitioned, that's the position that she played. I am so grateful that I had an opportunity to have my great grandmother, grandmothers, aunts, and all the other family members that I have that are both male and female. Even my great grandfather, I grew up with my great grandfather. I grew up with, my grandfathers. I'm like, whether you want to say it from daddy's girl to granddaddy or great granddaddy's, I am uh, somewhat of a daddy's girl. Like when it comes to all of them liked me. And I pretty much hold the image of all of them because I'm, dark skinned. They were dark skinned. And all of my grandmothers are light skinned. So, and I'm proud of that. Like, that's why, people can't tell me anything. But, anyways, let me get to the subject. A long time ago, about 2, maybe 3 years ago, if you go look on my page, you'll see earlier videos when I said this beef said the Manosphere was coming to take over the beef sector. And I like did multiple videos. I even started doing videos on the Manosphere. I started exercising how the Manosphere was on the FBI watch list. I started doing a lot of things. We knew that this specifically in the Black women empowerment sector because they would attack us. We would debate them on their viewpoint, and we realized that was null and void. That's why, like, in a lot of ways, I don't even try to debate or have major conversations because it's null and void. There are cults and multiple cults because there are different subsectors of the manosphere. You got MGTOW, MG, men going their own way. You got red pill, blue pill, purple pill, all kinds of pills. You got just all they're like I don't even know, but I do have a friend that's a part of that. He's cool and he respects women. And we were supposed to have a debate, and as well, like he has been trying to educate me on the differences, black pill, all of that, right? On the differences, because unlike a lot of people, like I try to gain understanding. I want education and understanding. I want to know, what do you think? Why do you think that way? Why do you think that way, to gain better understanding? So at any rate, um, because there is money, because and a lot of women in the beef sector, in which the beef sector was outside of shadow band sector. That's why in the past the beef sector organically grew because it was black women, LGBTQIA, and it was like sort of like a church sector. Okay, so the conscious community, a lot of the manosphere comes from there. The black sector, a lot of manosphere are there. Then you got Mo3 sector, all kinds of, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're like out. This is a campaign. And that's why we got these words like simp. That's why, they're quick to call somebody a simp, right? That makes no sense at all. Like that makes no sense at all. If you're married to a woman that you're supposed to spoil, you're supposed to take care of, you're supposed to do everything possible for that, make that woman happy. Likewise, she's supposed to do the same thing. And even in the lesbian dynamic, it is like we do have roles. And, it's likewise. You do for each other. No relationship should be one way, period. And that's why I mean self love, know your worth, know what you deserve, yada, 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 yada. But at any rate, they've been trying to silence me, but they can't. And then don't get it twisted. Uh, all I gotta do is call a crew. I got a whole crew back there. They didn't came in here one time for me, but it over on misunderstood with Sinetta. But it was lightweight, it was weak, and so I called them off. They came over, they told me to go on the panel. I was like, because it was really I didn't go on the panel because of misunderstood, but they all know the smoke we can bring. But at any rate, I'm just saying, people, the beef sector is under attack, but I want to make it clear because they keep trying to make it seem like it's a war. It's not a war. Really, we just want to be left alone. We deserve to be in a space where we don't have to be disrespected as women, and we deserve to be in a space where we don't have to be disrespected as lesbians or even LGBTQIA community. Now, I do remember during the Kevin Samuels time when y'all was talking about y'all got to embrace, the gay men. I do remember that, and I think y'all have. Because, like I said, a lot of gay men are just as misogynist or more misogynist than straight men. So, I'm paying close attention to what's going on or whatever. And here's the thing. Like I said, this is a quick live, and all I want to say is there's no war. They keep trying to incite a war. They keep trying to want people to fight. And women are part of the manosphere as well. And because misogynist, when you say a misogynist, in which I was going to educate on it, a misogynist could be a man or a woman. It's a state of mind. Just look up the definition of a misogynist. It could be a man or a woman. A feminist can be a man or a woman. So, there are misogynistic men. We have a lot of, women. We have a lot of misogynistic women in the beef sector where they pretty much despise women. I guess I'm going to take that live down. They pretty much despise women, or want to put women beneath, or as worthless or whatever. And they uphold men no matter how good or bad they are. But like I said, this live is to make it clear. They're inciting a war. They want a war. They want entrance because they have an agenda. And it is a political agenda. They want interest into the beef sector. And, people have told them long and hard that the beef sector plays with their toys and then they throw them out. I just want, the people in the sector who care about, the fact that, we do have our own created space. We deserve our own created space. We deserve to be in a space where we're not disrespected. We deserve all women content creators deserve to make money and to have supporters. Men, let's not let these men just keep coming in and just taking over. Because really, it's like all of the supporters going outside of the beef sector, in case y'all have not noticed. Then y'all got to go listen to SK. And then sometimes, well, anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. But infiltrators, they study, they plan, and then they're strategic. That's all I'm saying. But the one biggest thing that I want to say today is that we need to make it clear that we're not inciting a war, we're not in a war. And then they keep saying this the B sector, right? Well, if they really knew anything about the B sector wasn't hopping on panels, cursing people out. The B sectors were organic beefs that really stem from like friendships and things of that nature, support, people supporting people and things of that nature. It was nothing that was unorganic, like people from outside. Like I said, it's hard to sit there and argue with the somebody you barely know, or beef with somebody you barely know. You barely have an issue with them, and a lot of times you don't care. It's not like people that you had an acquaintance with, you were friends with, you supported. That's where that beef comes from. Something you care about that. And then, like Spilly Boy says, he said, I ain't arguing with a new B about old stuff. And that's what they like to do. Because, unfortunately, people in the B sector who can't fight for themselves always going outside, passing over information and different things of that nature, being a traitor to the B sector. And so that gives these outsiders power because they know a lot about us, but we don't know a lot about them. Now, I have always been multi-sector, but at any rate, you know, I'm a major supporter of the B sector, major protector because of the LGBTQIA and because of women. Now we do have the BWE and divestment in different sectors and stuff for women support, but that women can go into in the event that there was a takeover. But we don't have a place where this is the only like spot that was created by the LGBTQIA community. So I mean, that's one of the reasons I've been hanging around or whatever, because, it's like, how did you create something and you just give it away? And then it wasn't something minor, it was something major that was almost making mainstream media. But then you just gave it away. And now it has become a liability because we have people doing the most heinous and criminal acts from other sectors and different things of that nature. And don't get me wrong, I like especially the women, because I think some of the women need refuge as well, but because they've been through a lot. And a lot of these people want some new women, I guess, but to harass, abuse, break down, tear down, ECT. But these men do not like women to be powerful, women to be on the top, women to be outspoken, women to handle their business, or women making money. So their whole objective is to take down the economic network that like was really created by women in the LGBTQIA community. But at any rate, like I said, right now the biggest thing is because I play chess. I don't play checkers. And where they think they're 10 steps ahead, I am actually 10 steps ahead. Or 20. I don't always, show my hand either. But at any rate, there is no war amongst the black sector or the B sector. We don't want to be at war. We just want to be left alone. We deserve our own little spot. But and B sector is not about just degrading each other, degrading women. We're not on that. That's manosphere. If y'all want to degrade women, y'all stay over there in the manosphere. Y'all build back up the manosphere, and y'all do that over there in the manosphere. But that ain't what the B sector's on. And then we uphold or support, or a lot of women, or a lot of people, or a lot of men are allies to the LGBTQIA community. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said, it was a quick live. I just want my critical thinkers, my free thinkers, to recognize that, and to make it known that we're not beefing. We're just trying to build up our sector. We're just trying to create content. We're trying to get our AdSense and our super chats and our like cash apps. you know, just like they should be trying to do within their sector. But, they broke it down because they like to break things, they like to destroy things. And that's all I'm going to say right now. And I'm out. This is Unapologetically QI. Peace, love, hair grease, and all that good stuff. Smash that like, share if you would like. And I am out. I'm exiting this building. Peace.